Labour Party presidential candidate Obi issues directive to youths. Welcome to the news and thank you for tuning in to listen. Please subscribe to our channel. The Labour Party presidential candidate in the last general elections, Peter Obi, has called on Nigerian youth to actively work against the entrenched corruption and criminality in various levels of government. In a statement released on a social media handle on Saturday, Obi encouraged young Nigerians not to be intimidated by the challenges and poor governance in the country. He emphasized the importance of raising their voices to demand better governance. Obi shared these views while serving as the keynote speaker at an event in Enugu State, focusing on accelerating actions to achieve the SDGs in Nigeria through entrepreneurship and civic engagement. The event, which took place on Friday, aimed at discussing strategies for achieving sustainable development goals through civic participation and entrepreneurship. The statement reads, and I quote, "Yesterday I had a very useful day in Enugu with a cross-section of Nigerian youth. The event was a very interesting interactive session with young entrepreneurs, youth advocates, and change agents in an event aimed at discussing how to accelerate actions to achieve sustainable development goals in Nigeria through entrepreneurship and civic engagement, a topic of critical importance to the nation, especially the youth whose future must be secured." As a keynote speaker, I pointed out to them that the Sustainable Development Goals are a follow-up to the Millennium Development Goals 2000 to 2015, which before it ended in 2015, none was ever achieved in Nigeria because they were not mainstreamed into the development agenda of government, unlike in other countries like China, India, and Vietnam. I related to the enterprising youth how the number one goal of the Millennium Development Goals was to fight extreme poverty, but unfortunately, within the period of trying to implement the MDGs, more Nigerians became poorer, while other nations who mainstreamed their MDGs into their development agenda and followed it, like China and India, pulled 439 million and 271 million people out of poverty respectively in the same period. In the area of education, countries like China and India improved tremendously in HDI, while the opposite was the case in sub-Saharan Africa, especially Nigeria, which has not only failed to meet up with the MDG goals, but has the highest number of out-of-school children in the world now. This, therefore, shows how almost impossible it is to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals of eradicating poverty and ensuring at least basic education for every child by 2030. I encourage the youth to take on entrepreneurship no matter the difficulties they face in the country, as it is the only entrepreneurship that will be able to build a strong small business sector that will catalyze the economy, foster productivity, and help in moving the country from consumption to production. I reminded them that Nigeria belongs to them and they must not cower in the face of difficult challenges and bad governance, but must raise their voices and demand for good governance. We all must persevere and work together to dismantle the criminality and corruption that has festered through different levels of government in our nation. I thank the organizers of the program for the wonderful initiative aimed at empowering our youth with the right knowledge and leadership skills to make positive change. We will, all together, build a new Nigeria of our dreams. Well, the thing is, this man is always dropping nuggets. If you watch, he know they say make una do upside down, make una do. He's not giving. How am I going to put it? He's not inciting anybody, contrary to some people. We know if not the opposites now, they go down the incite, they go down the ginger. The thing is, it touched me where P2B say the sustainable developmental goals will be said then set for the country, that they did not achieve them. Let me go back to that particular part of the news. Just listen. Just listen. As a keynote speaker, he pointed out that the Sustainable Developmental Goals are a follow-up to the Millennium Developmental Goals, which means before you start talking about Sustainable Developmental Goals, you'll be talking about Millennium Developmental Goals. And he mentioned that countries like China, like India, like Vietnam incorporate that particular this. And what are the what's it called? What are the MDG? That is the Millennium Developmental Goals, was to fight extreme poverty. That time, where we say Nigeria gets so much money. I can remember was one particular, I think, if not 1991, was it 19 what? That Gowon said Nigeria now, no be the money be Nigeria problem, how to spend them. Now that time, now we for use pull people out of poverty. But at that time, God bless, at that time, then the looting can start. And then he now said, unfortunately, within the period of trying to implement the MDG, more Nigerians became poorer, while other nations who mainstreamed their MDGs into development agenda and followed it like China and India pulled 439 million and 279 million people out of poverty respectively in the same period. You see am? Then he now even spoke that in the area of education, countries like China and India improved. In Nigeria here, instead of us to improve, we are going backward when it comes to education. Sincerely. So with this mindset and with this, we know they go forward. But where you think say they go? If you as a nation, I know they go forward, and they stagnant. Let me now tell you, not be stagnant too. Stagnant na just one English word to use deceive you. That your mates don't leave you waka go front. Don't leave you there for back. Then he now said he encouraged the youth to take up on entrepreneurship. And you know, man, remember this entrepreneurship. It's not a thing of, yes, I know that plenty people will come outside and say, not everybody can do it. But I kid you not, you have to give it a shot. You will have to give it a shot. It is only a fool that will look at how suffering has increased in this country and keep quiet. I pity some commenters here. Thank you, Selby, my president. You are not a saint, so stop.